It's an extremely special day in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, because we not only have our new studios that we're extremely proud of, we are extremely proud of our guest today, Tim Krumrie. In my humble opinion, as a former interior lineman in the National Football League, it is now officially a Ring of Honor. Tim Krumrie is in the Bengals Ring of Honor. Anthony Munoz on the offensive line of scrimmage, Tim Krumrie on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage. Best players I ever played with, ever saw. I mean, first of all, welcome. Second of all, congratulations, my man. Well earned, well deserved.
Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, I mean, so many things. Here's a couple of things that jump out at me. All 4 years that you played high school football, you led your team in tackles. All 4 years at Wisconsin, you led your team in tackles. With the Cincinnati Bengals, you have the record still for tackles in a single season. You had over 1,000 tackles as a nose guard, 700 of them unassisted. What's up? I mean, what was the secret sauce? What was it all about, Tim?
Well, the secret sauce, starting right out of high school, is wrestling, by far. Going into my high school, my first game in high school, I did not start. The second game I started, I played in the game, but I didn't start the next time. Next game I started. College, we're gonna go for a little couple story hour here, Dave.
Okay, yeah, got to.
In college, I went to college in a full scholarship to be a wrestler, also a linebacker and a fullback out of high school.
Is that right?
So I went as a linebacker, and all the way through training camp, I was second string. I was traveling. I was tickled to death. I was traveling as a freshman.
Varsity?
I didn't have a suit either, but I was still traveling.
I got you.
The week before the opening game, I believe, I can't remember, probably Purdue, I think it was. Check it if it's wrong. But anyway, the head coach, coordinator, D-line coach, called me in the room and said, "We want you to try to be nose tackle because you're wrestling background." I said, "Well, I'm not going to make any tackles." Well, the first practice of the week before the opening game,
yeah,
I was going against the backup. He dislocated his elbow.
You dislocated it
He
for
didn't.
him, right?
No. The guy in front of me dislocated his elbow.
Oh, okay.
Guess who was starting?
Tim Krumrie.
Tim Krumrie was starting.
Nose tackle.
Nose tackle. Never been down. So actually,
You never been down in the 3
dirt,
or 4 point?
No,
never.
just as a fullback, I had my hand in the ground.
Right.
So the first, I had a couple of practices and stuff. The first play, they rolled me out there like a fly on what, you know what, and starts with an S and a T at the end. And I was like, whoa, this isn't going to be good. Well, what do I know? I'm going to wrestle this dude. Hit him in the temple, flip my hips, split the double, rest is history. That's as simple as that. I went right back to my wrestling mentality because that's the only survival I had at that time.
So wrestling, that's the thing about you is, I'm like, son of a buck, man. Can't get him off. I can't even get him out of balance on his feet. Your balance was unbelievable. It was like you had spikes in your shoes and they were, nailed to the ground. I mean, your balance, was that because of wrestling?
That's because of wrestling. Just imagine if you're a person and you put your feet together, you tip over. Your feet come apart. That's wrestling. So what you want to do is get the opponent, much in the pits in the defensive lineman and the wrestling world, you want to get their feet together. Feet together, you got them. So that is the key in me. When I come out of my stance, my feet are apart all the time because of the wrestling mentality. And that just kind of instilled in my brain day after day after day, practice after practice. But the wrestling was key, and that was my edge, I think, all the way through.
The other thing was you played with such unbelievable leverage. I mean, was that wrestling as well? And your hands, I mean, your hands were quick. Your hand placement was like 100% every time. Your hand strength was phenomenal.
Well, the hand strength comes from farming. You ever take a 150-pound bale of hay and throw it in a wagon?
Dairy farm in Wisconsin?
You have to grab it and throw it in a hay bale.
150-pound
bale of hay. Guess how you have to do it? You can't pick it like this. You have to pick it like this through your hips and flat. Hang on to it with your hands. So your hand strength comes naturally from farming. But actually, when I trained, everybody says now, what'd you do in college, high school for lifting weights? Guess what I had? Cement blocks in front of the tractor. They were my weights.
Yeah.
And then the functional training of lifting hay bales and stuff, because I went to the high school and college, I could automatically flip my hips, turn my hip strength. So into the wrestling room, I got done talking with one of my wrestling buddies this morning, and he says, "You know what you were?
A beast.
A real pain in the butt."
I second that.
Because I came to, he says, you walked right off he goes, you're unbelievable. You walked right off of the football field, took your helmet off, took your pads off, walked in the wrestling room, and nobody even touched you. So it was like, that was kind of a funny thing this morning we talked about. But wrestling, I think, was my edge going all the way through. And the tackles, I was always you hit the stat right in the head. I was durability. I never missed a game all the way through high school and college and pros. I was so proud of that. But the tackles and stuff, and we're going to get into the logistics of did I say that right? Logistics of a nose tackle. If you don't understand what a nose tackle is, that's the guy that lines up straight in the center and he has two gaps. Mm-hmm. Right now they line up half man, you have one gap. To get that many tackles with that, it's called a zero technique over the center, meaning that is very difficult to do.
You have to defend to the right and left of them.
You have two gaps, both eight gaps on both sides. And you say, how many times a W? Well, how they block you, two guys every time. So that's when you used to come down on me, Dave, that's how I didn't like you playing against either.
all I can say is I
didn't want to drill on that stuff a little bit, but you can cut that out a little bit.
No. I mean,
I didn't want to carry on that because that's kind of important to me.
No, honestly, I mean, when my last year was your rookie year, and I felt like, even though it was my 10th year in the NFL, you made me a better football player practicing against you every day because, I mean, practice was let's go. I mean, practice was you took every snap of practice seriously. I mean, it was time to get it on.
Well, practice was a game to me. It had to be. I believe the true believer, the way you practice, the way you play. Some guys can go half speed, some guys can go 3/4 speed. I go wide open because if you carry that energy and that consistency in your play from practice to the game, it's an easy job.
I'll tell you, the games were easy. After practicing against you all week, I was looking forward to Sunday as a vacation.
Me too.
It was a day off.
Me too.
I mean, we went at it a little bit. We had some good wars, man. It was unbelievable.
So, when you go against you and I together in practice,
I mean,
game's easy.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, guys would look at some of the practice tape, friends of mine, and like, oh man, you guys were going at it. I said, well, Tim. Well, I mean, you had to really go to work with Tim. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, not only a wrestler, but I mean, like a championship wrestler. I mean, you had tremendous success wrestling, and then the dairy farm. Give me an idea, because when I think of Tim Krumrie, I think of work ethic. I think of blue collar mentality. What was a day on the farm like at the dairy farm? I mean, when did you have to get up? What did you have to do? What were your responsibilities? All that good stuff.
Let's just go to a school day. You got to get a school day. You get up at 4:30, 4:30 to 5. You got to milk the cows, lime the stalls. The cows have to go to pasture before 8 o'clock, before the inspectors come. In the afternoon, if I wasn't in sports, get out the bus, do the chores at night, same type deal every day, over and over and over. So you got up at 5:30 or 6 or right around 5 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you'd get all the milking done again. Next thing, the same day. And in summertime, it's baling hay, and then you go to school and do your stuff. I didn't have any, like camps to go to, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
My stuff was just come off to farm and go play football and wrestle.
I mean, functional football or functional strength, weight room strength is one thing, but functional strength, I mean, the thing with you, it wasn't like, all your attachments, everything, your ligaments and tendons and everything that attaches everything in your body, those were incredibly strong. I mean, it's like you were indestructible, man.
Thank you.
Is that from the work on the farm?
Actually, that's from work on the farm. But actually, once I got into the weight rooms and stuff, the Kim Wood and those guys type of stuff, he got me with the big grippers and all this other stuff using that. And actually, when I would travel and in the car, I'd have grippers and the balls you squeeze, constantly working your hands. And that was my key, is if I can get my hands on you, you're mine. Mm-hmm. Even if you run front side, if I got one good one in there, I can hold on to that group. And the thing my deal is how can I take a 300-pound man and pull him across with one arm? That comes with pulling and leverage on the backside. It's called a pull push. So you pull and push. That's a push and a pull. Mm-hmm. That creates that lever to get you across front side if you're behind the block.
Man, you had the techniques down. There's no doubt. Okay, so some of the numbers we talked about: 1,017 tackles, 700 solo. 34 and a half sacks. When you were done with the Bengals, you were fourth all time sacks as a nose tackle in the history of the franchise. I mean, I think people would be like, really? 13 fumble recoveries, 11 forced fumbles, 24 fumble issues that you were causing in there. You were a royal pain in the butt to a lot of people, man. There's no doubt. 10 passes defensed, getting your hands up, knocking passes down. I mean, it's unbelievable. You had a complete football game. Did you pride yourself on being a complete football player?
Yeah, I think I had the game down. I think a lot of it was a film study. Chuck Studley, Dick LeBeau, Mo Gillespie, Dick Mo Gillespie.
Yeah.
Those three guys. Actually, my first couple of years, I think it was Mo my first year. I think I had him my first year,
right.
And then Stud was my second year. I think it was Studley. Yep. I'm sorry, I can say Stud. Anyway, he's still a stud. I know. I have dinner once in a while at this house.
Do you
anyway,
really? Yeah.
So I sat in there, and he was Dick Mo Gillespie. He was calling the plays off. Oh, they're going left. They're going right. I go, what the heck is this guy looking at? So after the meeting is over, as a coach, I said, I don't know how to watch film. Can you help me? Yeah, Tim, I come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, good. I have him up at 5 anyway. So I said, I come up there and watch tape with him and stuff. He said, all right, let's watch every play to the left. Run. What do you see? I said, I don't see anything. See the splits, Tim? See his hand, Tim? Yep. Now go the other way. Oh, it's different. Hand placement, splits on the front. So I started to be a genius. I should say, I'm going to say I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And I'll give
pre-snap reads.
I'll give you pre-snap reads.
Yeah.
Hand placement, splits, especially on a nose tackle. That's why my nose is always bloody. You know why? I want to see. I put my helmet up like this so I can see the vision across the front so I can get the splits this side, splits that side, and hand placement. I'm not even going to give them up. Some of you use my technique, but if you watch enough tape, you'll get the deal. You'll get the technique down.
I tell you, I talked to the former offensive lineman that played against us. Said, yeah, man, it was disturbing when Krumrie would call the play out before we were in our cadence. Krumrie would call out where the play was going, and we'd be like, oh man. Not only is he a beast, he knows where we're going. It's like this is like we're in trouble now.
I don't know if it's glorified cheating or not, but that was what I was. I took a lot of pride in it because it takes time to sit and go every play to the left. 5 or 6 games,
sure.
Every play to the left, every play to the right. You can go faster with a little. Not all they had fancy stuff. We had a little clicker,
Yeah.
Because they break them down one way, one left way, and
sure.
also the passing, all the passing downs. But what are they doing different in the passing downs? Oh, that's a little different. So then you can just kind of tee it up and away you went. But I took a lot of pride in that, and I give credit to Dick Mo Gillespie and Chuck Studley and Dick LeBeau, those guys. One time, the funny is, I says, Dick, can you show me a little bit about the coverages? Yeah. He goes, why? I want who to yell at in the other one against it.
Love it.
I knew where the gap. I had 2 gaps, but that one was gone.
All right, so
it wasn't a safety though either. I'm not saying.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Cut that out.
Yeah,
it was a safety.
I got you. Yeah.
Cut that out, will you, please?
I
don't want to throw them under the rug.
Yeah, I hear you. To this day, your work ethic. I mean, you're an early guy, early riser. You work out. I mean, you're cutting grass. You're doing. Give us what your workouts like.
Well,
even to this day.
Workouts. My day off. Well, I'm gonna do my workouts. It's strictly a wrestling workout. It's called 30-30-30. Spin 30, walk 30. I have my knees replaced, so I can't run, so I walk fast. I walk for 30, I row for 30. Then I go to the floor and do stretches and crunches, 500. That means
500 of each.
Stretch, crunch forward, stretch sideways, crunch, stretch, crunch. 500 that way, and then I go to the wall. When that's in between each stretch, you put your hands over your head to the side and stretch out. Stretch your legs out in between. It's methodically, no jerking, no pulling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crunch, and then you go to the wall, and you got cords in the wall. And guess what I do? A little bit of pummeling for football, just for fun, like a little throw technique. I still got, but and then actually my day off is I take a day off and I mow the grass for 2 hours and wash the crutch. I wash my carpet stuff, clean the garage.
Okay, I know everybody listening to us right now knows all about the injury in Super Bowl 23. I mean, your tibia fibula segmental fracture below your knee, above your ankle, and the thing is, you that's the last game of the season, the Super Bowl. The following year, 1989, in the opener, Tim Krumrie snapped one in defense at the nose tackle position, and as a result of that, how important was winning the George Halas Award that you won in 1990, the Pro Football Writers Association? They pick a player, a coach, a staff member, whatever, overcoming the most adversity to succeed. What did that mean to you to say to like? I mean, everybody was like, "What? Are you kidding me? He's lining up for the first snap of the following season." Now the Super Bowl's the last game of the season, so there's not much off season there, Tim. What was that like getting through all of that?
Well, you can cut this part out, okay, till we get to the end. Let me talk to you. We're gonna do a cut thing. Have some fun with it. I'll give you dub it a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Coming in, pretty much after this season was over, Dr. Michael Welch put me back together. I still very good, close friend with Dr. Michael Welch. Anyway, so he put it back together, and then they pretty much sent me home back to Wisconsin. Some said you'll never play again. You're done. So I went back to Wisconsin.
But before he put you back together, you get hurt. You're in the locker room watching the game on TV.
Okay.
You don't want to go to the hospital.
I'll tell you
right?
that story.
You don't want to go to the hospital. He says, "Tim, you might go into shock. You got to go to the hospital." What was that?
Here's the story.
Okay.
I came in the locker room, and of course it was right after halftime, and boomers. Everybody came in there, and I don't know. Everybody said, "What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing in the locker room?" I says, "I'm waiting for you guys to get me a ring. We'll get you." Starts with a F ring. Say it
right.
Bleep.
Right.
But anyway, they said we're going to have to give you painkillers to set the leg. I said, well, first of all, I need a TV and beer. I'm going to say the guy's name too. Jeff Ruby came down with a TV and beer.
There you go.
I'll say his name because he's proud of it.
So,
He'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, they said, I said, well, if you said it, give me the painkillers. Well, I remember the game. Nope. I just said it. I said, what'd the Cowboys do? Well, on a bullet. The policeman was there. Give me a bullet. I can't give you a bullet. He says, give me a towel. And I've been in a towel, and they said it.
Right there.
In the
locker room. Oh, my God.
So I've been in a towel. And then,
right. So you had fractures in both bone, tibia and fibula, four fractures, and they set that
broke
sucker.
the tib and the fib, and that broke my ankle. But I didn't diagnose. My ankle's still fused, but I broke the tibia twice and broke the fibula twice. And then they said before the third quarter, I said, Tim, we got to get you out of here. We got to get you out of here because the traffic is crazy and stuff. We got to get you to the hospital and stuff. So the paramedics, hats off to those guys, said the paramedics are driving the ambulance. Said, Tim, he said, we got a problem. What? We got to go over speed bumps. I said, all right. Takes the first speed bump. Pretty good. Second speed bump. Whoa! Drug me. Right to my
Need
brain.
a little something.
We got juice me up now. It was like that got me out of there to deal. And then they took me home in a team plane. They put me on an airplane on a food truck, on a stretcher on the food truck.
Yeah.
Put the food truck up. Put me in it, stretched me out. When I went, came back, and had an ambulance go through that little parade. Remember the parade they had coming afterwards? I was in an ambulance, sitting on the back.
Yep.
I was kind of drugged at that time. Waving at the crowd.
Wells put you back together.
Put it back together, and then he did a fantastic job. So then they sent me back to Wisconsin, and I had a physical therapy guy there did it. But the way I did it is growing up on a farm, you see an animal. A dog get kicked by a cow and he breaks his leg. What does that dog do? You don't take a cattle dog to the vet. They step on it. Stimulates the bone to grow. Step on it. So it was a design. It wasn't a cast. It was designed. I don't know. It was like a boot that went on my whole leg.
Yeah.
Underneath my patella tendon, my kneecap. Underneath my heel was a little gap. So when I stepped, hit that little gap. I stepped on it so much.
You were walking.
I stepped on it so much walking behind a snowblower with no blowing snow. That was my walker. I busted those screws off.
Oh,
and
man.
I told my doctor that actually a couple of weeks ago. I told him, he goes, that was good. We wanted them to break because that means your bone is firing.
It's healing.
Yeah. But it was one of those deals. And then I came out and we everybody didn't know this story, but we trained at night with a flashlight at training camp.
Yeah.
When nobody around, I walked stadium steps and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So and one day he says, the funny thing, he goes, Tim, run, show me your gait. I ran. He goes, that's not running. I said, that is my gait.
It is now.
That is my gait.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, actually, you might have to bleep some of this out because I don't want to get in trouble on this one. But no training camp, no nothing. I believe it was Chicago Bears. I'm pretty sure it was Chicago Bears.
I think you're exactly right.
I can't remember that guy's name. It starts with a J. Hildenberg.
Jay Hildenberg. Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Center, oh, yeah. Jay Hildenberg.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Anyway, be careful with this next thing, okay, please?
So what did he do?
Leg whip me.
Tried to eat right away, huh? Leg rip. Did you see what the deal
And
is?
I had like a modified hockey shin guard, like a little piece of plastic on it.
Yeah.
I got up and kicked it, stomped it. I'm good to go.
Bad day for you, Jay.
Turn this off. So I got in the College Hall of Fame, and it was the center was on the center, or the kicker was on the team with Jay Hildenberg. He didn't come out of the locker room. He scared death of you.
Is that what he told you?
Yeah, he goes, yeah. So anyway.
I don't blame the guy.
So anyway, you got to be careful with some of that stuff because I don't want to. Well, I'm going to back up just a tad, and I'll give credit to Dick LeBeau. Because Dick was sitting in his room one night, and I said, Dick, they're going to take me outside and test me, and I trust you. You can print this. I trust you on your opinion. Can I play or not? So we went out there and did it. He says to the docs, he can play. I wanted his professional opinion. And he said, you can play. So don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. I'll tell you afterwards how he took care of me. But you can print that because that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Actually, he put a technique in. I'm going to say it anyway. It's called a tough technique.
Yeah.
That you ride and go backside. Because I didn't have enough kick in that
right,
one step
right.
a little bit. But he gave me a tough technique. That's what it's called. Just go backside. They don't do it anymore anyway.
So let me ask you. I mean, you were the best in the multiple-time Pro Bowl. How about some of the honors here? Multiple Pro Bowls. We talked about the Hallis Award. The fact is, you played in the NFL 8 years, 12 years with the Bengals, all 12 with the Bengals. You end up coaching, Tim, 8 years with the Bengals, 3 years with Buffalo, 4 with Kansas City, 15-year career in that regard as well. Before we get into your coaching career, why was it so important to you to be able to play that first game of 1989 after the catastrophe that happened to you in the Super Bowl?
I was not going to give up my streak. I had that streak going, as no matter what, I was going to stay.
Never missed a game.
I was so proud of that all the way through the deal, and then no matter what, I was going to go with it. And that's a record that's unbreakable. High school, college, I don't know if anybody has that kind of record. But
yeah,
it's one of those records that I'm very proud of. If the tackles are, I'm in the Hall of Fame in college and high school. I'm going to get some honors this year. A little bit of sugar back there, so I'll give you the whole gist of it later.
Well, okay,
cut that part out too.
But here's Hall of Fame, Wisconsin Hall of Fame, 99 you're elected. College Football Hall of Fame, 2016 you're elected. Ring of Honor now for the Cincinnati Bengals. So I mean, you're collegiate. I'm sure you're in your high school Hall of Fame. Mondovia, right?
It's going this
Mondovi.
Year. This year probably it's going in. And retired my number this year.
Is that right? This year?
Close to this year. End of the next month.
But your high school, there's the Tim Krumrie Award for the outstanding, or for in your area, the outstanding high school senior defensive lineman. How proud are you that your Wisconsin area honors a high school senior defensive lineman in your name?
It's kind of cool, really, because of every year it comes up and it's popped up, and I try to get a hold of the person who gets things, thank you and stuff like this, but sometimes you can't get a hold. It's kind of hard to get a hold of kids that this day and age. But
right.
I'm very proud of that award. That's something that through the University of Wisconsin and the state of Wisconsin is it's a rural farming, great state. No matter what happens, they got your back. And that's the same thing that when they watch me play, they want me to have that award is so special to me because it came from where I grew up.
Means a lot. I mean, if I'm a high school senior defensive lineman, I'm doing everything I can to get that award. There's no question about it. So your coaching career, 15 years in the NFL, it was legendary. Everybody around the league, teams their personnel people would wait for you to work out a defensive lineman before they decided where to evaluate him for the draft. And Tim Krumrie would go up against these best college defensive linemen coming out and just destroy them, break them down. What was that like?
Well, it was I played it back in the old school. I played a long. I played 12. You had played a long time. Anyway, when I was coaching, I wanted to feel the kid and see his mental toughness, because that's how I judge. That's myself. I want to see how this kid does. An example would be if I pull them and their feet together, they'd stumble. If you pull them and their feet go apart, that's natural contact balance. That's the wrestling world.
Right.
So it's pretty much a wrestling thing. And then you'd palm them. I put my hand inside. They had to put it outside. I put it inside and just see the levers and the mechanics of their hand placement and stuff like this. So I would take, at the most, probably 4 to 5 guys. And I'd always wait till the best for last.
Yeah.
Because that when I was getting warmed up.
And then put it on them. Huh?
Yes. I'm like an old turbo. What's actually was so I would go, and then I would go to many combine. Actually, I can't go to one university because they don't want me anymore. I'm not gonna say it. I'll say it off the air later. I'll say it off the air later.
Right.
But anyway, that was where I evaluated players, and scouts like that too, because it was in the pits. It's great. It's great to have a 40. It's great to have a 10. It's great to have all that stuff. But my thing is, you still have to play in the grass. You still have to play. So I would look at a guy. Oh, Jesus, numbers are real good. I got a good 40. Got a good 10. He's got a good bench. Oh, he's bouncing the bench. All right, that's interesting. Now, it's his stats. Numbers are real good. No stats. Nope. Don't like him. I want numbers. Here's a guy who runs slow.
Numbers off the tape.
I
Right.
said, no, this guy's slow. He didn't run a very good 40. Not that strong.
Look at the numbers.
300 tackles. Oh, I want that kid.
Yeah.
And then some kids can come out and say, boy, he's got all he's a good player and stuff. He's got all the tools, but he's never been taught. My famous thing is when I bring the players in for pass rush drill, show me what you got. Because some coaches say, go in and do a rip move, go do a swim move. Some guys maybe can't do a rip move. Some guys can do a swim move. Show me your move. Well, he's got a good rip move, but he doesn't know how to finish the rip.
Right.
He's got a good long arm stick. He doesn't know how to do that. Well, what is a rip move? You put a rip in art. You know what a rip move is.
Mm-hmm.
What does the wrestler do to get a single leg takedown? Flip your hips, throw your belly button, gone. That is a rip move. So that's how I could teach that, but I can't teach that effort on the field for a kid or a football player coming out of college. That effort is key. If he runs all over the field, I'll take a shot on him. I don't want him just because I can train him. I can teach him. I enjoy doing that.
Did you was the coaching world rewarding, frustrating, combination of all? I mean, because obviously you really pushed yourself to the limit. I mean, you probably were never satisfied. But how did that translate into coaching?
Well,
world?
The coaching world was good because I stayed in football.
Yeah.
I could still be around and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
To go back one step is, why did you leave football? Why did you leave? And that why is I lost a step. I couldn't make the plays I used to make. It wasn't my broken leg. It was my body wasn't doing what it used to do. And I wanted to retire on the top, not the bottom. Mike Brown said, you can be a backup and we'll play you for. No, I don't want to be a backup. I want to leave on a high note.
Yep.
So that was my mentality going into coaching. And I wanted to go into the front office. He's, no, you'll be a coach. So that's how the coaching started. I enjoyed it. And I got to meet a lot of good people and stuff, the Bill Kollars of the world.
Sure.
And those type of deals. And I got to meet a lot of great guys. But I enjoyed that. And now I enjoy going to the games and everything.
I was going to ask you, I know you're a huge supporter of the Cincinnati Bengals. You and Cheryl are there every home game. What do you think of the Zach Taylor era?
I think Zach Taylor's doing a great job. And somebody asked me, who's your favorite player? What my answer was? All of them.
All of them.
All of them. You know why? They all got the stripes on. All of them are my favorite player. I don't care if you're the first string or the back string. You're still mine because you got stripes on. That's the key. It's me being a fan. I watch the games and stuff, and I get frustrated with certain things, but that's okay too.
Sure.
I flinch a tad. You can't sit next. You can't sit
Right,
next. Don't sit. I might get clubbed. But no, take that out too. But anyway, that's kind of the deal. Now I go to the games and stuff like this, and I enjoy it. And, it's going to be it's fun. I sit. Actually, my wife sat in bad seats for 27 years. So when I retired, and nope, we're going right by Nancy Brown.
There you go.
Right behind the
There you
bench
go.
right there. So actually, Nancy will be happy I said that. So anyway, I love her too, coming up the steps. But anyway, going to the games and stuff, I think Zach has done a fantastic job. I think his coaching staff did a good job too. And the thing is, I see when I go to the practice and I see on the field the chemistry of the team. There's no eyes on this one.
They're all bought in, man.
There's no eyes. No eyes.
Yeah.
It's us. No eyes. Us.
No, I need it's we us.
That is the key, and I see that with the really interesting. And Zach has done a good job. I'm not going to point. I'll put out one group, but then all the groups are the same because of the free agency and stuff. How it all works. I'm going to say receivers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, as a group, they got a quality group, meaning the backups can come in there and play.
Give snaps.
And when I coached, let's say I had a real good run player. Someone would go down. He's going to play the run. And I had a good pass player and a backup role so you can survive. Before, a lot of times, you'd go from here to here.
Right.
Now we go from here to here. It makes a big difference.
Huge.
So if the guy can compete, he's done a nice job of getting the second-tier players, the quarterback, second-tier players come in and play at a high level.
Yep.
I think he's done a great job doing that.
I agree with you.
I kind of went on and on about that.
I like it.
Cut some of that out, will you?
I like it. All right. So final question, and appreciate you carving all the time you have, man, because I know you got stuff going on. I know you're a dad, a grandpa, and all that good stuff.
Oh, geez, Harper. We got to say something about Harper.
All right, let's say something about Harper.
Harper's my granddaughter.
Yeah.
Her birthday is May 20th. Guess what my birthday is? May 20th.
Really?
I won't forget that one.
There you go. There you go.
Harper in Kansas City. It was Dexter. Yeah.
Dexter's your son.
Yeah, Dexter's my son, and Kelly. He's in Colorado.
Kelly's in Colorado. Your
Dr.
daughter.
Kelly Krumrie.
How about that?
Yes.
A good doctor.
Yes, she's a little professor. She's not a little professor, but a professor.
In what field? What's her?
Creative writing. I probably said that
She's
right.
got her doctorate
Yeah.
in creative writing.
Yes. Yeah.
What a mercy.
Yeah. I don't know where she got
Little
that.
Kelly, unbelievable. Man, that's
Wait till
great.
you see.
When you see him,
You've
I
never
can remember
seen-
them running around like
You've never seen Kelly. It's just like me.
All right.
Oh yeah, just she's they're coming in on Friday for a Monday game.
Nice. I like it.
So I like Kelly. And Dexter too. I took Dexter to the national championship in Kansas City last year. So we go to the wrestling stuff too. I take him
Cool.
to nationals a lot.
Cool.
A couple times I take him stuff like that. So that's kind of the way we buddy up and stuff. But I enjoy going to Kansas City and seeing those guys.
So, final question about your playing career. You were great, and everybody that was playing against you knew they were in for a long day at the office. Let me ask you about a couple of guys. Mike Webster.
One of the best players I ever played. Mike Webster went to University of Wisconsin. I played against Mike Webster so much. We used to grade each other in the field. He said, I got you. No, you didn't. I put you in the gap. He goes, I got you. Yeah, I guess you got me. I got you. I got it. So we go back and win the game.
Right there in the game.
Great guy and great competitor. But you're going to probably see the next guy,
Yeah.
too.
The next guy, Dwight Stevenson from the Miami Dolphins.
Dwight Stevenson was a fantastic football player. And of course, both of these guys are Hall of Famers.
Right.
But he had very long arms. And from having long arms, Mike Webster had shorter arms. I'm not saying he had short arms, but shorter than Mike.
Right.
Dwight did.
Right.
But Dwight had long arms, so he created his own separation on snapping the ball. So way to slow him down a little bit, so jumping you. It's called a tough technique. Ride and slide. That means push, slide backside. That'll slow him down. So that was kind of the Dick LeBeau tough technique, ride and slide the back door on him. But going against those two guys, the first year I played against Dwight, he wasn't very good. Second year, kind of brought the mustard a little bit better. You've probably seen that one before.
You got even quickly.
I kind of matured pretty quick in 1 year, but those were two great guys. But there was a lot of great players I played. You asked me players. Over the years, there's a lot of players. I mean, high school and college and pros. And remember me, it's just helped me out a little bit because there's a lot of names out there that normal guy can't remember all that stuff.
Right.
But those two guys are fantastic. But as far as my career goes, the Brown family was great to me, and my starting coaches. I'm going to say one guy that really made it very important to me, Forrest Gregg.
Mm-hmm.
Forrest Gregg is my first head coach. I only had him 1 year.
Yep.
And if I ever thought to myself, I was still young then, I said to myself, if I ever become a coach, I'm going to be like Forrest Gregg. Stern, to the point, not overboard. But when I retired in 94, after 1 year, I had Forrest Gregg come introduce me. That 1 year. So that carries my
kind of impact
on him because I wanted to be him. And when I coached and stuff, I tried to simulate him. My playing thing, the same, about toughness. I didn't have to see him play. When he walked on the field, and when I walk off the field, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Win, lose, or draw. I lost a lot of games, but I came all day.
Mm-hmm.
You better have your hat on.
Mm-hmm. Better buckle it up. Double chin strap time.
So that was one of the deals that was good. But it's been a good ride. I mean, I had all the accomplishments in the world, but if we can get in the can, we can get in there. If not, I've had a tremendous ride, and I'm going to go with the flow. That's going to be the Ring of Honor thing it's going to be special. It's going to be like, I'm going to put it in the same category as College Hall of Fame. There is 5.5 million college players. There's only 1,038 College Hall of Fame players.
How about that?
Them stats are right. You got to look up the stats again for me. You look up the stats on that. These numbers change per year. The college stats from that to that, and then you can doctor it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that makes the point, no doubt.
Because that's a stat that, and then when I got in there, those are the stats. So actually, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But actually, there's only 0.25 college players make the NFL.
Is that what it is now?
Yeah,
a quarter of a percent
something like that.
of college football players.
You'll look that up.
I know it was crazy. I know it's a crazy number. I mean,
you look that up.
The legacy of Tim Krumrie, man, it'll be forever. Here in Cincinnati, I mean, I know you love Cincinnati, and Cincinnati loves you, Tim Krumrie. There's no doubt about it. An honor well earned, well deserved, my man, and couldn't be happier for you. You're not only a hell of a football player, hell of a human being.
Right back at you. I said, no, thank you very much. You know why? Because you made me a better player, by far.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, what's it easy to practice against a little easy guy? I wanted the best of the best, and that's who you were.
Appreciate you, man.
Practice hard.
I'll tell you what. If I can vote, you're in Canton, bro.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate
no doubt about
it. Anytime. I'll send you an invoice.
You're the best. Oh, that's great.
I have no fun.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.